The beautiful Alicia Fox.
Spoke to you and said this, Bob, but my name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke!
3 ain't enough now, I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
And after tonight, none of you in this ring will ever be the same again.
Oh my goodness, what am I doing? There's a 1, there's a 2. Oh! Wow. Wow, indeed. Welcome to 3 Count Thursday, live here on Thursday, January 16th, 2020. We are the podcast of the millennium, and we have tons to talk about this week, including what a freaking week it was. There was good, there was bad, there was controversy, there was sadness. And, of course, the sad news, Rocky Johnson passed away, the father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the son-in-law of High Chief Peter Maivia. Started his career in the NWA in 1964, debuted in the WWF in 1982, retired in 1991. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2008. He, along with his tag team partner Tony Atlas, became the first black tag team to win the WWF Tag Team Championship. He also held numerous titles across companies that he worked for, including Georgia Championship Wrestling, Mid-Atlantic, NWA affiliates, and many more. He was 75. So again, we are thinking about the Johnson family, the Samoan family of wrestling, and many others who knew him. And rest in peace, Rocky Johnson. Again, we are glad to be with you here on a Thursday night, as we always are each and every week. Ryan is somewhere meandering the whereabouts around Studio L. Tim won't be with us this week. Intern Mark is still without Hershey Park, and Matt, I think, will be joining us here in just a couple of moments. But independent shows on the calendar this week. There's only 2. As Ryan sits down here at the table. Ryan, how we doing? Is the perimeter secure?
We're safe.
Okay.
Sorry for being late, folks.
Good.
Hit some traffic on the way over here.
It's always fine. It's always fine.
Yeah, the traffic was bad around it's a metropolitan area we podcast out of.
Yeah,
so.
we are in a high traffic area, but
That's leeibsports.com. What a manu. 3countthursday.com.
Thank you. Yeah, you can follow along with us on all of our social media. Go to our website, 3countthursday.com. We are a proud part of the NGSC Sports Radio Network. We also stream daily and live at leebsports.com, like Ryan said, L-E-E.
Did I jump the gun?
You did. I was doing the...
Yep, my B.
It's okay.
Oh, yes.
L-E-E-I-B sports.com.
I just thought because I was late. Oh, we did a 10-beller for Rocky, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yep, that makes sense. You want me to go off and try this again?
No.
Okay.
And I screwed up a little bit, too, because I always have the music on a repeater. So we actually did an 11 bell.
You know what? He deserves all bells.
He did deserve the 11th bell. We have one independent show on the calendar for this week, or actually 2 from one company, though. It is MCW, their Winter Blast in Joppa, Maryland at the MCW Arena. That is tomorrow night, January the 17th. Doors at 6. Bell time is at 8 on that one. And then they take it on the road, MCW Winter Blast on Saturday in Hollywood, Maryland, at the Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department. Doors at 6 o'clock again on Saturday, but the bell time on this one is 7:30 p.m. So 2 chances to see MCW Pro Wrestling.
And I'll be honest with you, Joppa, Maryland, Jim, it is just beautiful this time of year. Why you wouldn't want to visit Joppa, Maryland this time of year is beyond me.
I'm going to back you off there a little.
Just beautiful.
There you go. That's better. What's up, Devin? Jason with us. Ken as well.
Hello, Lee. I see Lee's in here.
Scotty is with us. So, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I don't think we're going to get as much snow as they originally thought, which I'm totally fine with.
Too much
well,
snow.
And a coating is too much, but I think there's going to be less than they were originally calling for.
But more than a coating, right?
More than a coating, yeah. Which we never need that. I think Ryan.
Let's think about it.
Therefore, I am. I think we have Matt on the line. Matt, are you with us?
I'm with you.
Awesome. Welcome in.
I think Tim's in West Virginia.
Tim, I believe, is in West Virginia this week. I don't know. I guess he's on vacation. No, I think
Virginia is for lovers, what is West Virginia?
Come in my face.
Maybe. Jesus, maybe.
I mean, you never know, I guess.
You don't know.
But
yikes.
Yeah, that got real quick.
You can't say that on television, can you?
We're not on television.
Come in my face.
But no one's ever said that on television.
I mean,
you come in my face, I'm going to fight you.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be too happy about it.
I would not be
if
happy
you're,
at all.
Yeah, Sandman's going to be at MCW this weekend. Yeah, Tyler, we do have I want to remind people because we just did get the calendar updated. Tyler reminds us that SWO returns to Redline in February. I do have that show on the calendar.
Yes.
If you head over to 3countthursday.com, we have an upcoming independent show page.
It's a great page.
Now, these are shows that either we'll be working at, like Ryan, you do ACW and Rogue.
I do.
Occasionally, we jump into some other federation for various reasons.
Sometimes.
Or it's going to be shows that we're going to be attending, or just ones that we support in and around the Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, New York area. So again, 3countthursday.com. Find the upcoming shows page. We have shows on there from this week all the way out through, I think, into April, actually. So tons of shows there as well, and we will highlight the ones for the upcoming weekend each and every week here on the show, as we always do, because we do want you to support independent wrestling. And if you don't know, wherever you live, you don't have to just be in our area.
There's an app for that now.
What is that?
I think Phil Stamper made an app, an indie wrestling
what's it called? Like the indie calendar?
I'm gonna have to look it up. He always did the indie wrestling calendar.
Yeah, take a look. Let people know about that. And actually, I'm gonna try and remind the webmaster to add that to that page.
Shared the hell over my Facebook page, so
but
shouldn't be hard to find it.
If you don't know, check out that app or reach out to us, and we will help find one for you, because we want you to support independent wrestling as much as you can. So yeah, I think Tim's there with his in-law, or not his in-laws, but his girlfriend's family or something.
His outlaws.
All right, let's jump into this one. If you're following along on the live video, please give it a like. Please give it a share. Get as many people in here as possible, because there's no more NFL on a Thursday night, so you really have no excuse for not being with us each and every Thursday night from now until August. So this week, dude, there was news and stuff to talk about all over the place, and let's go back to it. It was probably, I think it was a week ago on Friday, where the Tessa Blanchard's weekend did not start off that well.
Sure didn't.
It finished pretty well, and then she gave a promo that I think clouded more of the situation than cleared anything up. But obviously, the some of the not good allegations that came out about Tessa Blanchard on I think it was either Friday or Saturday last week, and there was numerous allegations from numerous people, and then others began to to back up and support the allegations. I think there was racist allegations, there was bullying allegations, so that is obviously very bad if they are true. Now, I'm not going to speak on the validity of these because I don't think I have ever even been working a show that Tessa was on, because I think the PWE show that she was at, I was on vacation.
That is correct. Yeah.
So you know what I mean. I'm not gonna sit here and say these are all right or are all correct. I'm not gonna say that these are all wrong because I have no basis on that. The allegations are very very unfortunate. And like, here's the thing: if and this is what I'll just kind of say, like, in general, the thing that, and I know, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, the world's, so much softer than it used to be. And people are just looking for their 5 seconds, or they're just trying to bring people down. Like, if there's one thing that I think social media and the internet has given people that is a very good thing, in my opinion, it's the people that normally wouldn't have been heard, the ability to be heard. Now, in the same time, there may be times where people embellish things or straight out lie, and that hurts the people who actually have a case and people who have actually been a victim of something. So, again, I don't know where this specific situation lies, but when a situation is brought to light, that presents everybody an opportunity to evaluate any situations that they might be in. Sure. That may give people an opportunity to evaluate themselves and how they treat people. And I'm not like, you know what I mean? Like, even if you are not a bully or, belittling people, it also may make you think, man, maybe when I'm presented with a stressful situation, I could just handle it a little bit better. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, if I wasn't really a horrible person in that situation, but maybe I shouldn't have raised my voice, or anything like that. So I do think that any of these type of situations, and we'll get obviously to the Impact show where a historical event happened, but it was something that I as it started to come out, I was like, holy crap, like this is real. And for anybody that actually has felt a victim of something like that from her, I genuinely feel bad that person had to deal with that.
I don't know. I'm torn on that. Like, the timing is awfully suspect. And I'm just going to present the other side, Jim, of you. And have you ever bullied anybody? It's just so fun, right? Like, let's all be bullies together. Is that the PSA we're trying to go with? Let's just bully. Matt, are you in? Let's just bully everybody.
It is very fun, I must say.
It's a fucking hoot, especially if they're smaller than you. Most people are.
Well, yeah.
No. In all seriousness, like, I don't think, bullying, especially racism has absolutely no spot in professional wrestling, in sports, in entertainment, in the world today. And I have zero time for anybody that's gonna, present that way. Like, it's really easy to not just not be like, unless you are racist. Like, it's easy to not be a racist. Just don't be a fucking racist. Like,
right,
it's really
exactly.
Easy.
Like, you just don't be an asshole. Don't be a racist.
Did she say the N-word? Does that make her a racist? Or did she, like, slip and say that, like, when she shouldn't have said? Like, I don't know. I wasn't in that spot. I've never had a bad interaction with Tessa. I've had one interaction with Tessa Blanchard, and it wasn't a bad interaction, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to have good interactions.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I can say I had a non-racist, not bad interaction with Tessa Blanchard. I might be in the minority here.
Well, and here's the thing, like, because I know I saw a lot of people that were saying, like, oh, I can't believe this because my interaction with her that I've had has always been really good. And it's like, okay, I mean, you've probably had like one or two, like, from a fan standpoint, it was probably at a meet and greet. Like, first off, somebody who's getting paid to do a picture opportunity or, like, sign an autograph, generally is going to be on the nicer side because, like,
Taking
you're
money
a
from
paying
you.
customer
You're
at that
absolutely
point.
Right.
but also in the same time, you can have had one or multiple positive interactions with somebody, but that doesn't also mean that they are not a racist or a bully.
Sure.
Like, just
right.
because your experience wasn't that, and also, like, like, she is a white woman. If you are a white man, like, and again, I'm not saying that she is a racist,
wrong.
but in that moment, she is probably not going to be racist to you.
You're probably right.
Matt, would you like to weigh in here?
I guess the main thing I will say that, like, I agree the timing wasn't great given what was happening, but I think a lot of it was just in response to her initial tweet of, like, hey, let's all support each other, and then that was, like, what started that onslaught.
Right.
I didn't think it was, like, people like, oh, Tessa Blanchard's about to do something great. Let's shit on her. And like Ryan said, I have not had a negative experience with her. She was very cordial to me, but it was like maybe a 35-second interaction. So I can't really say one way or the other.
Yeah, I think Jason hits the nail on the head.
He's got a great point.
Pretty good here. He's like, I'm not sure you can spit in someone's face and say that word, then say it's not racist.
You got a point.
That's a really good point.
I absolutely stand corrected.
Like, that's,
thank you for course correcting me
right,
there.
Like, yeah, and I mean, like, and I know, like, Eric Bischoff's one of his big points is always, like, context is king, but, like, yeah, like that one, what Jason said, I think hits the nail pretty straight. Like,
I mean, unless she was like, I want you to spit in my face and call me the N-word.
Sure.
That's probably the only out that Tessa Blanchard gets.
Probably.
And I doubt that happened.
But now, like, here's the deal. If somebody says, I want you to spit in my face and call me, like, a derogatory term, you know what I also have the option of doing? No, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean?
If you want it, Jim, I'm hocking a loogie and calling you a fatty right now.
I would prefer if you didn't do that.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay, thank you. I would prefer if you did not.
Not in front of our audience.
But yeah,
at least.
and I know people did say, oh, well, you bad timing. But again, like Matt said, she didn't just.
You're right. She did.
People weren't just like, okay, let's gang up on Tessa here.
Yeah, you're right.
Because she's about, she has the opportunity to do something historic this weekend.
It got people talking.
Sure did. And I mean,
let's talk about that. Is bad press bad press?
I mean,
we spend how much time on it on our show now?
Right. There's probably a certain line where it becomes bad, but
I feel like racist is that line typically.
But you know what I mean? Like, I know Frank, and I think Frank was in here in the chat a minute ago, and I'm not sure if he's still there. But he and I were talking about this, and he brought up a great question. This is on Sunday afternoon, I believe, and it was like, who do you think is going to win? And I'm like, I wholeheartedly believe that Tessa Blanchard's going to win tonight. And I didn't even know, like, I don't watch Impact on a regular basis. In fact, right now, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched an Impact match.
Really? Okay.
It's gotten lost in the shuffle, man.
That's
There's
fair.
so much wrestling.
That's fair.
But, like, I had no doubt, regardless of how they were thinking of booking that match on last Saturday or last Friday or the weeks leading up to it. Now, I wholeheartedly believe she was always playing to win the title.
I agree.
However, there's part of me that is, and maybe it's just, 6 years covering professional wrestling on this show and being a fan of 30 years, but
7 if you ask Matt.
But the cynic in me or whatever is just like, even if Sammy was supposed to win, the minute this story started to happen, Impact went changing the book.
Absolutely.
Because you know what? It's gonna get more people talking. If
right, here's the deal: Sami Callihan retained. We're not talking about this today.
Yeah, probably not.
I really don't think we are.
Probably not. But of course, she did win the Impact World Championship at Hard to Kill, which I love that name for an Impact pay-per-view, by the way. But at Hard to Kill on Sunday, which, I mean, it's historic. She's the first woman to hold that championship. the woman has never held the WWE championship.
That's correct.
A woman has never held the AEW championship. I don't think a woman ever held the WCW championship, which is hard to believe because everybody held the WCW championship.
Even Arquette. Even non-wrestlers.
So
Vince Russo.
It's that is something major. That is a wrestling company that's been around for
longer than WCW has.
Longer,
Jim.
yeah. Wow, that's
Yeah.
So
Jason didn't realize they still existed in the comments.
So that is a historic moment, and I know they started making headlines, last year when this feud started.
Yeah.
Because it was an
wrestling.
intergender feud at not the highest level of professional wrestling, but a major level.
It's a TV level.
It is not an independent like Ring of Honor, Impact, AEW, New Japan. Those are not indies. They're not the WWE. They're not ripping that level of money off. But
Impact is such not an indie. They're not even on Twitch anymore.
Did you see any of that segment, by the way, the RVD thing that got them
I missed it.
It is just the trashiest garbage.
It's the shits.
Oh, it is awful. I don't find the and I don't remember what his lady friend's
Couldn't even say what her name is.
but I don't find him entertaining in 2020. I don't find the I'm gonna just dry hump my girlfriend getting into the ring. It's and I mean, this is all things considered with what the WWE, one of their featured stories has been over the last 2 months. But it's bad. It was real bad. I think there's clips.
Is that where
of
that
it on
clip came
YouTube.
from? That audio clip that you found this week?
Oh,
is that from?
What, this one?
Come in my face.
Is that from Impact?
No, that's
Oh, okay.
that's Rusev. That's Rusev and Liv Morgan.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you.
Can't wait to break that button.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Tessa winning is historic. Now the real question is, where do you go from here?
Right.
It's been a
Not Brian Cage.
apparently.
Let's not go that route.
Yeah, we'll hit on that a little bit later, but man, I mean, it's when we started. Let me put it this way: and when we started covering wrestling 6 years ago, all about 6 years ago,
All about.
could you have imagined hearing in insert major wrestling company here a female winning the world championship? Could you have think of where professional wrestling was 6 years
absolutely
ago.
not. No. I couldn't fathom women main eventing pay-per-views, main eventing WrestleManias. This is something that Impact was able to beat the WWE to the punch.
I don't think we ever see this in the
women's
WWE.
revolution, whatever you want to call it anymore. It's just how it should be. But Impact was able to beat WWE because I don't think WWE would ever do that.
I don't see it happening.
China was probably the closest wrestler to do it with, and I just don't think there's anybody on the E that would.
China, like a Beth Phoenix, and looking at anybody on the roster now, like Shayna Baszler would be the closest thing.
Probably.
You know what I mean? She is that dominant.
Ronda, sure.
Ronda,
I can
if she
see
was,
that.
but
yeah.
in the same time, now that they are pushing the women's titles and featuring that, there's no reason to do it.
I agree, right? Because the women's championship should mean as much as the WWE
Exactly. Yeah,
championship.
and people can trash about the design that every title looks the same, but in the same time, when you see the WWE championship, when you see Bray Wyatt's Universal Championship, when you see the women's championships, and then when you even at NXT, you look at the NXT title and the NXT women's title, the look of them, the design is the same.
Right.
Different strap, or on the NXT, you have a silver logo instead of a gold logo.
Same importance of
But
the
yes,
design.
it looks the same. That is something.
Where do they hide the owl in the WWE logos?
And I'm not shitting on AEW, but like I don't like their women's title, but their women's title looks dramatically less important than than their main title.
Thanks for not shitting on that, Jim.
But doesn't it though? Like,
we all heard you. You may have the soundbox screen, but I just make my own.
So,
do you want to come in my face?
Interject. I caught like the tail end of a conversation at the start, and I wanted to clarify that the ringing of the bell salute, were we doing that for Shane McMahon turning 50? Or
That extra one was for Shane McMahon. Yeah. We gave Rocky Johnson 10.
Rocky got
1
10.
For Shane turning 50.
Gotcha.
We're going to ring it one time for every 50 years Shane McMahon will be alive, so we've still got a long ways to go for Shane O'Mac.
So do you have a thought of what her first feud as champion could be?
I think there is going to be a rematch with her and Sammy. And I hope they're not like chicken shit just drop it right back to Sammy. But the matches haven't been bad, her and Sammy. I think they have great chemistry, so let's beat that till it's dead. But she's been presented as somebody that can, hang in with some of the guys.
I mean, Jason brings up, he says, even though Blanchard is the champ, Becky started this with the man gimmick. Like, if it wasn't for what the WWE was doing, do you think, I don't know if we get this in Impact Wrestling?
I think Impact needs to do something to be different.
I agree.
But let's be an alternate and try something different, because they can do it there. Do it.
And Charlie said, can you see a world where Becky or Charlotte is in a match against Brock, Seth, Bray, Drew, or Braun? Like,
I mean, Seth, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Braun Strowman, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. And I mean,
Brian Cage, probably not.
Yeah, like, I mean, we're about to, like, I'm pretty sure at Royal Rumble we're probably going to have Lana and Bobby Lashley versus Rusev
I think that's
and Liv
next
Morgan.
week.
Is that on Raw?
I feel like they've hot-shot it for Raw next week.
Oh, okay. It's possible. I didn't
mixed tag match.
I didn't watch much of Raw. I mean, all I saw was
Come in my face.
Right. That could happen next week.
But it's either next week or the Rumble, because the Rumble's a week from Sunday.
Correct. One of the two. Something's happening.
So it's
give me what I want, right?
Yeah, that's a drop I need to have, by the way.
Oh. Fuck him.
And then also
fuck Sheryl Crow too. I haven't said that in a couple
weeks. Yeah. Fuck her.
Yeah, every day's a winding road.
We need to open the show with that from now on.
Fair. I'll make a note.
What's that? Fuck Sheryl Crow.
Fuck Sheryl Crow. I'll put it right on my mic stand.
But yeah, this is Oh, is it Matt? Is this that you sent me something she just released?
43 minutes ago. Yeah.
Okay, so. All right. Well, I want to hit this too, though.
Well, this is news. Here we go. Breaking news.
I'll hit that in a second. But after the Hard to Kill pay-per-view went off the air, she cut a live promo to the crowd. She said, "Over the past 8 months, this has been my life. Sammy and OVE have been the thorn in my side, and tonight we did it. Nobody in this life is perfect. We're all human, and it doesn't matter what you say about me. It doesn't matter what you call me. I have one of the strongest minds that I've ever known. So whenever you come for me, you come for all of these people. I am now the standard bearer of Impact Wrestling, and man or woman, pound for pound, I am one of the best in the world, and I am now your world champion."
Come in my face.
So I feel like her promo live that night just kind of clouded the situation.
It's a bit of like doubling down. Sure.
I think it's kind of like, yeah, you can believe whatever you want, you can say whatever you want, but I'm here and I'm the champ. Like,
and those are factual statements.
Yeah, like she never denied it. She never really like admitted to it. But in some people's eyes, not admitting and or like dodging the question is basically admitting that you're guilty. Now, Matt just sent this across. This is, you said, it was about 45 minutes ago. She she released a statement. Over the last week, I've been accused of calling a fellow wrestler a racial slur. To read this allegation has been personally upsetting. To be clear, I absolutely did not use that word. That word is not in my vocabulary. That word is not in my heart. Racism is not in my heart. Yet I know many people have to deal with racism in a way that I will never have to. Racism is an awful part of American history, and is equally awful that it's still part of our society today. While I did not do what was claimed, I stand ready to use my platform to support the fight against racism however I can. And that was from Tessa Blanchard about 45-ish minutes ago. Good statement. However, and this is just kind of the cynical person in me. It shouldn't take a week for that statement to come out.
Probably.
But
I also don't think you do it the day after and overshadow your moment on the brand that you're trying to represent,
that's fair.
And cheapen what Impact was trying to do with you. So I think you have to write a little bit to protect Impact there, which is a shitty thing to do.
Okay,
and swallow it yourself and have to hold that in.
No, okay, you're probably right. You're probably right.
And also, I've said some stupid shit on the show. I've never said the N-word on the show, but I feel like if somebody ever said, Ryan, you shouldn't have said that N-word at this time. I don't feel like people are just making those claims.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I feel like nobody's just false blaming people for using the N-word.
Right.
You probably said it.
Yeah,
And let's be clear. We may not say it. It's in everybody's vocabulary. You physically know how to say the word, Jim.
Sure. And
Matt, you can physically say the word if you'd want to.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I think
Jason in the comments always says it.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just kidding, Jason. You do not. You kidding? Jason's a good guy. Do not send Jason any upset tweets or messages.
That's the part of everyone that ever has that slip. That's always their go-to line is I don't use that word. That word's not my vocabulary. Like you said, Ryan, it clearly is. Everyone's heard the word. They're aware it exists. If you said it and you, for whatever reason, I don't know, didn't mean to, then just like Randy Orton said it while he was playing video games.
Right.
Randy Orton didn't later come out and then be like, oh, I don't use that word. He was just like, yeah, I fucked up.
Right.
Own up to it. If you said it, face it instead of saying I've never once in my life used that word. At some point you said it. If you read Huck Finn out loud at school, you said the word. So
I don't want to say
don't
it.
act like it doesn't exist.
Yeah. And
Fun Huck Finn story. It was in middle school. I think we read Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, and I wrote one of my answers down, and I turned my test in, and the teacher had brought it back to me and said, Ryan, you might want to change your answer. And I said, no, I really don't. Why would any teacher ever do that? I'm thinking, what's going on?
Right, if it's wrong, just grade it wrong.
I wrote fuck Finn instead of Huck Finn. I was just thinking, I don't know what I would. Fuck Finn, I wrote on the test. So shout out to Mrs. Houghton. I don't know if you guys remember Mrs. Houghton.
Oh, yeah.
That's who brought it back to me. Never forget it. Thanks, Mrs. H.
Ryan, are you sure you wanted to?
But here's the deal. Saying the N-word and calling somebody the N-word are drastically different too.
That is also true. But yeah, and I'm not defending anything Tessa may or may not have done here. But I think when, at least in the statement as it was presented and probably written by Impact Wrestling Public
Somebody
Relations,
they can't afford a PR.
Oh, Jesus.
They ain't getting that Twitch money no more.
Well, that's true. When she says it's not in my vocabulary, the word fuck is in my daily vocabulary. I think that's what she means by vocab. I don't think she's meaning it as
she knows how to. I get
right,
it. I totally get it, Jim.
But yeah, and
but I feel like any word that ever existed is in my vocabulary that I'm aware of, and I can just drop it at any moment. You ever see Scott Steiner with a live microphone? It's in your, it's there.
Right.
You choose not to say it. Great. Good for you.
Jason says Jim Cornette is her PR person.
Perhaps. That was a starvation joke.
Stephen P. New is both of their PR people.
Fucking joke.
But yeah, here's the thing. It just, the unfortunate thing for her, for Impact Wrestling, is what was a historic moment has unfortunately been outshined a bit, or partially at least, by at the very least ugly allegations.
Sure.
Because here's the thing, like, and
where there's smoke, there's fire.
No,
too.
I agree, but like
there was a lot of people that came out of the woodwork.
there absolutely was, and I'm not trying, because there are people who we have had on this show that spoke up in this situation. I'm not trying to discredit, disrespect, or deny something that happened to anybody.
Sure.
However, Moose absolutely was.
Moose sure was.
A lot of people who work for Impact Wrestling,
they sure
absolutely were, and I get it. Like,
can I also get
that's probably a directive from somebody at Impact, like
that, like Allison Kay, who wrestled as Sienna in Impact, currently with the NWA, probably isn't jealous of what Tessa Blanchard's like.
You know who's
doing
also
in Impact
probably
right
not
now?
jealous is like Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green, who signed to NXT, debuting on Raw and like main event, probably not jealous,
right? Like, and I'm
of
not
Tessa
like,
Blanchard.
You know, and like, here's the thing, there's probably more people who know of Chelsea Green because she wrestled 1 week on Raw than people who know who Tessa Blanchard is.
I feel like more people may have seen a Chelsea Green match. I feel like the name Blanchard carries a lot of weight.
Does it?
Maybe, yeah.
I'm not
dude.
trying to be a dick. I'm really not.
I feel like yes.
I'm not, though. But like here's the thing. Like, sometimes when there are like legends who show up, like at WWE, like even on like, you think of like Raw 25 or whatever, there was times some people, like the crowd, there was people who were like, who is that?
AEW had Leaping Lanny Poffo on 2 weeks ago.
Like, who?
Right. Big names.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't.
It was a genius move.
I don't know that the Blanchard name holds what it did 15 years ago.
I think Tully stepped away, unlike a Ric Flair who stayed.
Correct.
For sure.
Correct. So like, again, like, and it's just like when you start throwing like jealousy around things like that. But all I'm saying is, like, and we're in a situation where it's she said versus she said. A lot of this is so, like, because I don't know what and where the truth officially lies.
Right.
I'm going to just say, at the very least, it's a bad accusations.
Sure.
It's
fair.
probably more than that.
Probably.
Absolutely, probably more than that. However, at the very least, allegations outshone what was a historic moment for Tessa Blanchard and Impact Wrestling.
Moving on.
Marty Scurll has appeared to make his decision. This is something we've been talking about for a while.
I love this.
He has signed a new contract with Ring of Honor.
Yes.
The former Being the Elite star was offered, quote, WWE main roster money for working around 40 dates per year with Ring of Honor. Per reports, he has not only signed on as a performer, but will be joining the booking team. It was initially reported that he will be taking the role of lead booker, but it has been confirmed. Pro Wrestling Sheet confirmed that he will be sharing the position with executive producer Hunter Johnston, a.k.a. Delirious.
Okay, that's good. Good.
As part of his new role, he'll help rehabilitate the brand's image. Part of that will involve strengthening its partnerships with New Japan and the NWA. There's also been buzz that Marty Scurll will attempt an open dialogue between Ring of Honor and All Elite Wrestling. No word on the length of his new contract, but Ring of Honor has been signing talents for around 2 years. It's presumed that his contract is of a similar length. What up, cousin Brian?
I absolutely love this signing.
This is
it instantly re-legitimizes Ring of Honor, and it erases that question mark that I think a ton of people had. Will Ring of Honor make it through 2020 even? And the answer is absolutely yes.
Sure. 100%. Jason says, wait, Ring of Honor is still in business?
Oh, come on. Jason, I feel like Ring of Honor really got the raw end of the AEW deal with the talent, the Elite, the Bucks, everybody jumping away from there. And then it's, we have like, and I'm not trying to shit on any talent here, like a Flip Gordon who's just not at that level of like Marty not Marty Skrull. Come on, Jim. Come on. I love
yeah,
my
it sucks,
boy.
doesn't it?
I love him.
I'm not going to shit on him.
Flip Gordon. I'm not shitting on Flip. Flip would be able to flip
He would.
a moonsault into a Russian leg sweep, no problem.
Wow. Yeah, we'll talk about that too in a little bit.
But like they were all of a sudden stuck without their top tier stars, and they had to do something. And something different was like PCO. They doubled down on Matt Taven.
Sure did. Re-sign him as well.
Right. So this is a
Thank you, Charlie.
really good thing for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and there was a lot of questions with Ring of Honor. Obviously, we've talked about it a little bit over the past couple months that things were looking pretty bleak over there, and and it's going to take a little while to rehabilitate this image. But I mean, Squirrel has already been.
You say Squirrel?
I think I might have Squirrel.
Squirrel
has already been confirmed
Sauce it.
for the upcoming NWA tapings.
Right.
So
yes.
like right there's that tie together. I wouldn't be shocked if they start working with AEW. Why wouldn't you? Both brands can help
Hit
each
that
other.
goddamn ding button, Jim.
Both brands can help each other. Same as like AEW wants to work with New Japan, Ring of Honor continuing a relationship with New Japan. Like, here's the thing.
No, I think New Japan needs to be careful because I feel like New Japan wants to establish themselves here.
They
agree. Have done the Ring of Honor thing for a long time, and having like a United States Championship and them running shows over here. I feel like they want to establish themselves and not tie us because of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, like they still do the super card shows and like,
but still do that.
Like
Absolutely.
Jericho and Moxley. So if you have a talent show, because WWF did that with New Japan and All Japan back in like the the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. So,
it's spicy. They did it with ECW.
Sure did.
This is something different. Let's put over the little guy. Let's help everybody.
They did it with Smoky Mountain Wrestling in the 90s.
They sure did, Jim. And why wouldn't anybody but the WWE do that?
Well, I mean, right now you had an Evolve show on the WWE network.
Sure, that's fair.
You know what I mean? And there's still talk that WWE is looking at like buying out, or however you want to look at it, some independent companies to air them specifically on the WWE network.
Great.
I mean, guess what? You don't have NXT airing like live weekly on the network anymore. So why not?
What, the next day still?
Yeah, it drops on Thursdays. Okay. So like, why not? Put some more content up there, and yeah, because whether people want to admit it or not, it's still the WWE versus everybody else. So if you have an opportunity to work together, I mean, you're not going to like the only people that are going to bring the WWE down are themselves.
I happen to agree with that statement. 100%.
You know what I mean? And that's not a shot at AEW or any other company, but the WWE is a Walmart.
Can I be honest? And this is how like factual that statement is, Jim. And I don't know. It might be on here. Let's cover this line. Triple H made a really shitty joke about Paige. I mean, real shitty joke.
Yeah, well, yeah, not good.
And apologized for it the next day, and everybody's over it.
Yeah, I get
he didn't call like Paige a racial slur or anything like that, but that was a pretty bad dig. Like Paige doesn't know where her kids are.
Like, okay, yeah, like he was on a press interview for NXT UK, and one of the questions that came up in the interview was about a possibility of people like Edge and Paige making their return, and just to take part of the quote here. That more importantly than anything, when you're talking about people as talented Edge and Paige, who wouldn't want them to return? I'm a fan just like everyone else, and yeah, I'd love to see them step in the ring and compete. More importantly than that, though, I would like to see them live long, healthy lives. Edge has kids. Paige, maybe she probably has some she doesn't know of.
Yikes! Which is just not a great.
Which, like, first off, timeout. Like, I understand that, like, when you talk about like. Ric Flair, and he was partying wild in like the, in the 70s. He may have kids he doesn't know about. Pretty sure a woman's going to know if she has a child.
I'm pretty sure,
like,
yes.
I mean, maybe Triple H didn't pay attention in health class or something, but like, I'm pretty sure. Now, I know there's that show, like, I didn't know I was pregnant, but guess what? At some point,
the kid just splashes
you're going to
down.
know.
Yeah,
you're going to know.
Agree.
However, like when you look at the joke, bad joke.
I ate some lasagna today. I don't know. Bah,
But like,
baby.
you know, bad joke. Bad joke.
Agree, right.
Like,
So apologize, move on.
like
It's a non-issue
Paige
now.
commented about it. I know, like, people were like jumping on it all over Twitter. Like, fellow
the Bellas jumped on
Bella's jumped on it. A couple other female superstars. Paige, I think, had tweeted something like, you know, well, my boss makes fun of me, so no wonder you guys keep doing it.
Yep, something.
She, you know, she talked about it too in an interview. She said, I was a little perplexed, taken back, because he's someone I look up to. He's always been very respectful. I think he got caught up in a joke. I just don't think it was appropriate to joke about. I feel the people on the internet have done a pretty good job at talking about it. He's definitely reached out. We're going to talk about some things later. He tweeted an apology to her, said they've been in contact. He said, I made a terrible joke, and I'm sorry if it offended her or anyone else. Which, like,
how you handle something professionally.
that quick. It was literally, I think it was in like a 18-hour span from the time people like
Done.
first really heard about it, and it was done and over with. Yeah, it's not hard when you make a mistake to take responsibility for it and apologize and move on. Like, it's really that simple.
Jason's got a rough comment there. I don't want to read it out loud.
Oh,
But you can use your sound effects.
Come in my face.
There we go.
But yeah, back to Marty Skrull and just, I mean, the everybody working together. I think it is a great signing. It shows that, you know, Ring of Honor isn't dead yet. You know, and I think there is, like you said, there's a level of talent there.
We're not dead yet.
Maria Manic just re-signed there, I believe.
I didn't see that.
Or I knew she was negotiating. Matt, do you know if she ever re-signed?
Not that I'm aware of, but
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that. Was that today?
No, I don't know. No. It wasn't today that she re-signed. I thought I saw a little ways back because there was at one point where they said her contract was expired.
I think she was working out some like handshake bookings.
Okay, I wasn't sure, but you know, it's you know, like, you know, they're going to be okay. Yeah, just having Skrull back in the mix is obviously really good. Speaking of deals, let's roll right into this one. We actually have these set up pretty good. Announced just yesterday, Warner Media announced that an expanded relationship with All Elite Wrestling, the groundbreaking new wrestling league that has already redefined wrestling with a resounding success after only a few months, Warner has extended their deal for AEW Dynamite, a top 20 new cable unscripted series, through 2023. In addition, the parties have agreed to launch another night of AEW action, offering more of the fans' favorite wrestlers with a second show straight to series. Jason, we will talk about Taz. Let's handle these things.
Huge news.
One at a time. So yeah, AEW, again, people talking about, is this thing going to last and whatever. You know, I know, and I listen to Jim Cornette Experience every week.
Yep.
I don't agree with everything the guy says, but I do find his podcast entertaining. He had hypothesized that it wouldn't make it through 2020. So that appears to be wrong.
Appears.
You know, they have absolutely been successful from a ratings and money standpoint.
Isn't that the name of the game?
You know, you may not like, people may not like the product, but it has been an early success.
Yeah.
You know, since 2020 began, they're nearing 1 million views every week.
Enjoy Wednesday night wrestling more than any other night right now.
That's fair. I mean, it's the most engaging, at least from a social media standpoint. It's the most engaging. But you know, so you have Dynamite. That's good. And I saw. I wish I would have wrote down who I saw tweet this. And if it's you, you're gonna know who you are. So you know, that'll give you the warm fuzzies. But they said maybe, just maybe, them getting the extended contract. They know they're around for 4 years.
Yep.
Maybe that will slow down some of their booking.
Perhaps. Okay.
Because like right now they're like, we got a year. Like we have to freaking, we got to do our best.
Right.
We're fighting for our lives every week. maybe this is what they needed to kind of slow things down. You don't have to do everything every week.
That's fair.
So, I'm really interested to see maybe it takes till after our Evolution or whatever the next pay-per-view is called to kind of figure that part of the game out. But I think that much like Skrull re-signing with Ring of Honor, this is a really good thing, whether you like AEW or not. And I know our pal Jason here likes to throw the trash can emoji around when we talk about AEW.
Sure does.
But it's good for wrestling.
It's great for wrestling.
It really is.
It's great for wrestling fans. It's made me watch, and not that I'm not watching AEW, but it's made me watch NXT more than I've ever watched NXT.
Yeah.
From the network. It's made me watch
100%.
it every single week, which I haven't done. I was only like 1 or 2 weeks, and then takeovers.
Yeah,
so
that's
it
kinda the way I
has
was.
made me a fan more of NXT than I ever had been. I am a fan of AEW. I've watched it now 3 weeks running. I feel like if you just go into it, now there's botches, there's mistakes. We can talk about that till we're blue in the face.
There's botches in WWE.
There is botches in WWE.
There was a ref fuck up on Raw this week.
Yeah, there was. We're gonna call it out. I think we tweeted about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens. We're gonna call it out. I am concerned with the directorial botches that they have sometimes. Putting a ladder at hard cam, missing Diamond Dallas Page's bang because they cut to MJF. Like, it seems like they have a director directing a show that is not familiar with professional wrestling.
It's TV people that are running the show.
That's what it feels like to me.
That's something that, love him or hate him, Cornette pointed out.
That is something that Lucha Underground, I feel like, made that mistake of.
Mm-hmm.
That they were TV executives and, prop people making, decisions for wrestlers that just aren't making sense. So that's a concern for me, but locked in, they've got time to figure it out, apparently.
Yeah. Matt, what your thoughts on when you heard the AEW news?
I mean, I think it'll be something to just keep an eye on. It's certainly going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think I'm really behind on AEW, I'll admit, but it's making me at least want to catch up and be like ready for it all.
Yeah, that's an interesting kind of juxtaposition, because I was on our pal Ernest Christian's Earnestly Speaking podcast a few weeks back, and we were talking about this very thing. When you get behind on wrestling, do you catch up, or you just kind of like write it off and start clean?
I don't think you have to catch up.
Because like he asked me that, he goes, "What happens if you miss like a Raw and a SmackDown for like a week or two?" And I'm like, honestly, if I don't watch it the day of or the very next day, I'm just deleting it.
I'm connected enough socially that I'm going to get the big storylines. Here.
RSGP caught your cap drop 3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row, man.
You've dropped a cap on the show.
That
Yeah,
pisses me off so much.
But yeah, I usually like last night. I don't even remember what I was watching.
What's up, Sherry?
But I didn't watch them live, but I caught up to them because I'm like, if I don't catch up to this, it's just going to be gone. And they're going to recap it next week. They're going to hit the high points, or I can jump on YouTube and catch like the high points of the show.
Right.
Like there's plenty of outlets that I can find it. So, I
feel like it's a lot easier to do that with WWE than it is with AEW.
I agree.
At least in my experience. Like I've found like there's so many different clips on YouTube of WWE that I can just catch that so quickly, where I feel like AEW I have to like actually sit and watch and fast forward to.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they have Dark on YouTube, but I don't think their YouTube has a lot of, kind of the recap clips.
The WWE's been doing this for a long time.
That you're
They
not
have a
wrong.
tried and
You're
true,
not wrong there as well.
So.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that as well. And I know I was talking to one of our Facebook top fans, Nick, about this a little bit earlier, because when I posted the ratings for this week, and again, I don't post the ratings to be like, let's have this big argument and debate and blah blah blah.
Right.
Like, it's strictly because, I mean, there's some people that enjoy that content. Our pal EJ, he loves. And just from he just finds those numbers interesting. So I put them out there, and Nick was like, AEW throttled NXT again. And I go, but here's the thing. All that is this people who are watching it live.
Right.
And maybe we've all figured out that it's easier to watch. And for me, it's easier to watch AEW live.
It is.
Because I know I DVR both of them, but if say something goes wrong with the DVR.
Right.
I know that NXT is going to be on the network the next day.
Right.
I know I can jump on YouTube and find those items real quick.
Real easy. Right.
Like AEW, it's not that way. So yeah, maybe people just figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, and also,
can I be honest with you though? For most weeks, I'm relatively entertained with AEW, and I flip over to the main event of NXT.
Sure.
And I am blown away. The AEW main events are falling short to my if you're going to the cutover and you watch the 5 to 10 minute overrun for NXT, which is brilliant by the way, and they do it flawlessly. They give you about 10-15 seconds before Mara welcomes you back to the show and lets you know what you're watching. Last round of the
WWE knows that people are tuning over at 10
you're flipping
o'clock?
over, and then you see Shayna Baszler like in the Battle Royal get eliminated by Shotzi Black. You know what I mean? Like the timing is just they time things so good.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah.
And I'm just really enjoying like those main events and I'm always like, man, did I miss a better show because I watched AEW?
And that's the thing, like, and for me, and I think you and I were talking about this when we were out at the diner, and I do want to point people over to our website. Because I don't know how much we're going to hit this topic on this show. There was a huge back and forth blow up situation between David Starr and Gabe Sapolsky this week about payments on the independents and things like that. And Ryan penned a really good piece that is up on the Ryan's Rambling section of our website. We like I said, we may have time to hit on this before we get out of here. But it's and now I kind of almost forget where I was going with what I was going to say.
That'll happen.
But it's for me, it's the weekly shows. I do enjoy, like, I even find Wednesday night to be a more engaging night because it is something that's very different. Like, and in terms of like which show is better, who pulls it. I think that AEW isn't very much different at all than your Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. Like, I mean, I feel like AEW is very sports entertainment-y, where NXT is the wrestling alternative. If you're talking about live shows that you're going to see in a week, there's 4 of them: Raw, SmackDown, AEW, and NXT. And out of those 4, NXT is the one thing that's not like the other. It looks different. It feels different. It's the wrestling show.
I happen to agree with that.
And like, it's not a negative thing. I think AEW has found their formula, and I think it's working. But it's not the different programming that they promised us from the beginning. It's not alternative programming. It is sports entertainment with different characters.
I 100% agree, man.
But they're still very young. Still very new at this as well. Now, something else from the AEW world that came out today is that AEW has added another announcer to their team, this time being former WWE and Impact announcer Taz. The company shared a video today of Cody, Vice President of Business Strategy Chris Harrington, and Taz signing the contract backstage at last night's bash at the beach. Taz says in the video that his people looked over the contract and, quote, "the coin looks right." So he and Harrington both signed the paperwork to make it official. The ECW legend's first appearance in AEW took place in October when he was a guest commentator for AEW Dark. As was reported, of course, AEW Dark will soon... is it Dark?
There's talk. I heard reports both ways.
That Dark would
is
be
not
moving.
going to be. Dark will be moving.
Yeah, see, I think they should stick with Dark on the shows and have something completely different. And I know a lot of people are saying, like, do a Saturday night show. Do like WCW Saturday night.
An hour program.
Or people are saying what's really missing in today's wrestling landscape is like a Saturday morning.
That's very true.
Type show. So I'm really gonna be intrigued to see where that second show, and it's not even necessarily on TNT. It's just gonna be on a Warner Media show as well. After signing the document, Taz said, "Looks like I've joined a revolution again." I think the Taz signing is great. I'm really curious to see where exactly they use him. For me, the only week where I've actually enjoyed commentary on AEW, except for the first week, the nostalgia of hearing Tony Schiavone call a show again. But it was the week that it was Taz and JR. I think that was January 1. It was when it was Taz and JR. Like, those two had chemistry and I thought worked well together. The commentary team of JR, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur is not working for me.
I don't love it.
It is not working for me. I feel like it's three people who are talking over each other. I feel like, and this feels so weird to say, I feel like JR gets lost in that commentary.
I don't
team.
think JR knows the product to talk about it properly.
There was one point last night where I think I had tuned over, and it was in the opening match, the four-way tag, and I heard JR say to Schiavone, and he just goes, I know there's no DQ. The referee's trying to get a hold of this train wreck, but who even cares or something? And I'm just like, woof. Like, it's just not great. The commentary is very disappointing. Very disappointing for me. And I know I get keyed into that a little bit more than other people because we've done commentary.
Yep.
So, it's like, and it's like, don't get me wrong, there's going to be points when you watch, an NFL broadcast where Troy Aikman ends up, who's like the color commentator, is going to hit like a play-by-play moment.
Yep, yeah.
Like, it's going to happen. But like with AEW commentary, I feel like it's three play-by-play guys just stepping all over each other.
I agree.
All over each other, and they don't tell the story very well. When Taz and JR were doing it, JR was play-by-play, Taz was a great color guy. And I felt that booth, and maybe it's a two-man booth thing, because I actually really enjoy Michael Cole and Corey Graves on Friday Night SmackDown.
Okay, yeah, that's one I didn't know I would love. Yeah, I agree.
And even like people can have their opinion about like King Lawler's corny jokes and anything like that, but I think Vic Joseph and Jerry Lawler have been a lot better. Not that Samoa Joe was bad or Dio Madden was bad, but that booth has felt a lot better on Monday nights when it's just a two-man booth. So, like, if I'm WWE, I'm taking that note. If I'm AEW, I'm taking that note as well.
Yep, notes are taken, Jim.
But I'm, Taz, I know his morning CBS radio show recently ended because his co-host ended up on another show. They did some shuffling over there. Taz taking a break, obviously, from the Taz Show podcast. Mm-hmm. I think this is good for him, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the fact that fucking ECW's Taz was on CBS Sports Radio on fucking cool. Morning Drive.
Yep.
I'm not talking like a 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. spot. Motherfucking Taz was on sports radio every morning. And like they talked about wrestling on a morning drive show. Yeah. Like, and he did, he would do pay-per-view reaction shows on, not on like CBS.com, on CBS Sports Radio. Like, affiliated nationwide. So it was awesome for that. But I think this is where Taz is supposed to be, whether it's Impact, whether it's WWE, but now it's here in AEW. I think this is perfect.
Matt, yeah, I'm good with that.
Which commentary team do you hate more, Jim? AEW's or Monday Night Football's?
Oh, that's tough. Probably AEW because I watch them more than I watch Monday Night Football. I usually only really watch Monday Night Football if the Cowboys are on. So yeah, I'll go AEW. But that's both now. If the Tony Romo to ESPN rumors end up coming true, I may have to watch more Monday Night Football.
All right.
Because Romo is just incredible. I would hate to see the Nance Romo team break up though, because I feel like that's a real good.
Right, but you don't get that very often.
Well, I mean, I have Sunday ticket.
I mean, you would. I mean, the Cowboys games you're not watching.
No,
right.
no, but I will usually have whatever game.
Oh, it's football.
That crew is on. I'll put that on my iPad just to hear Romo call the game.
All right.
Not every week, but I will do that. I don't think ESPN has somebody on play-by-play talent-wise that's going to do Romo justice.
That's fair. That's a good
like,
point.
I mean, dude's going to get paid. Like, if the numbers are true, it's like a $25 million deal.
Real good.
To play by or to do color commentary for football. But yeah, I will have to see where he lands up. But yeah, no, I feel like AEW, and this is just more observation, is just a matter of they have, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I think they have an identity crisis of who they want to do what job, because they have like one or two backstage interviewers. And then, like, Shivani Shivani's on commentary, but he ends up doing stuff in the ring sometimes.
Right.
Like, and maybe that's why they bring Taz in. With Taz on commentary, have Excalibur do Dark maybe with Marvez, and then have Shivani do interviews.
Not have Marvez near a microphone.
Yeah. But yeah,
sorry, buddy.
It's evolving, and now that you have the 4-year deal, you get Taz for multiple years. Like, I think they might be settling into something.
I hope so.
All right, just a couple of thoughts I had from Bash at the Beach last night. I thought that Moxley, Cody with that promo, the Inner Circle, I thought were the brightest stars. And once again, man, I thought their women's division just bad.
Yeah, this was brutal again.
Brutal. And like, Brandy's just not good.
Nope.
No,
she's not good. Like,
nope.
for everything that people have always said about Stephanie McMahon and what she did to the WWE women's product.
By that you mean founded it and created the entire
right. Founded and created women's wrestling. Brandy does that and even more negative to the AEW women's division.
She's awful.
It's just
bad. The worst.
The Nightmare Collective.
Yep.
It's like the Dark Order, or as Cornette calls them, the Dork Order.
The Dork Order.
But
that's
worse.
fair.
Like, it's like the things they do well, I feel like they do pretty well. The things they don't are just abysmal. Like,
there's
no
wrestling
in between.
well. They do not women's wrestle very well right now.
No, it's unfortunate. It really is. But I thought the theme show was pretty good. Let's get to this though, because this caught a lot of people's attention. It was an interview with Chris Van Vliet with David Benoit.
Oh yes, yeah, heard about this.
There was various things that came out in the interview. If you want to check out the full interview, just search it. It's out there. Obviously, one of the biggest theories about what happened was that Kevin Sullivan did it. David, he kind of laughed that one off, said, everything was looked into, but it wasn't him. I want to jump down to this part here, Ryan, is and Matt, I think you're jumping off. We'll talk to you next week, bud. Have a good one.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Take it easy.
David Benoit, when speaking about his father's legacy, he said, he views his dad as the greatest of all time. He spoke a lot about how his dad suffered from CTE, something we know a lot more about now than we did back then. And he said that about owning the rights to the Chris Benoit name. He goes, I don't own his name yet, but because his full name is David Chris Benoit, that means I can legally use it if I want to. They can't come after me. Benoit said he would wrestle with the name Chris Benoit, and he's even talked to the band Our Lady Peace about using his father's theme music. He believes that his dad should be inducted into the Hall of Fame for his achievements, and believes that he will someday. I have for those that know me, I have a very interesting perspective on this situation. Like my father went to prison, and he has been out for over 5 years now. And like, here's the thing: if anybody understands the not being punished for something that like a parent or a family member did, I have an interesting perspective on that. However, I have no problems with David Benoit wanting to get into the wrestling business. Absolutely zero. I have no issue if he wants to, if he wants his gear to look like his dad's, if he wants his music to sound like his dad's. But I will say this, where I kind of draw the line is wanting to like call yourself Chris Benoit or Chris Benoit Jr. Like, here's the deal. Like, if your name actually was Chris Benoit Jr.,
correct,
then you're Chris Benoit Jr., but you're not.
Right.
Like,
you are Brian Benoit.
So just, I feel like he, and like, here's the thing. It's not even, I just think he'd be doing himself a disservice to just kind of, I'm Chris Benoit Jr.
Right.
Like, why couldn't you be like Pegasus 2 or something? Like,
put a mask on.
If you want to go to that level, not even like
the Winged Horse Kid.
But man, I just,
I think Chris Benoit Jr. is a name that you're never going to hear on the WWE.
No, you're not.
Sorry.
Like,
and I know Brian didn't do, or David didn't do any wrong.
Yeah, he did not. He absolutely did not.
When he wants to name himself Chris Benoit Jr., that is where he's begun doing wrong. And unfortunately, he will be punished for that, not being booked in the WWE.
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
Will somebody book that? Maybe.
Yeah, there absolutely will be people.
And there will be people that cheer it, and there will be people that boo it. And then we go back to what we started our show with Tessa Blanchard. Is there bad press or not? TNA signs
Impact Wrestling sign.
Right.
Well, there is going to be a TNA show.
There is a TNA show coming up.
They're bringing that back, I think, in February.
One night only.
On Fight. That should be pretty interesting. The Revival on 111, they tweeted, guys, it's time to go away for a while until we get everything figured out. Scott Dawson clarified that tweet 2 days later, said, I've had many friends and fans ask me about this. I'm taking a break from social media. I apologize for the vague tweet. I appreciate everyone's support. Everything I do is for my family. They have filed trademarks for Shatter Machine and hashtag FTR for hats, hooded sweatshirts, pants, and shirts. So here's the thing. I think they are going to finish up in the WWE. I think they're going to land elsewhere. I think they're going to land in AEW.
It would make sense. That's where they do tag wrestling best.
I really do. Now, do I think they will never wrestle in the WWE again? Absolutely not. I think they'll be back in the WWE in a couple of years. And Jason, I don't know. I have never seen David Benoit wrestle, so I can't answer if he's any good or not. I know he's had tryouts with the WWE when they've been in like Calgary and Edmonton and stuff. So he's at least on their radar. But yeah, I have not seen David Benoit match.
Or he knows Aubrey.
So it's going to be interesting to see where the Revival end up. I know their contract's coming up soon. I don't know the exact date, but I know it's coming up soon. Quibi and WWE announced Fight Like a Girl. This is I guess an upcoming video series starring Sasha Banks, Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, Alexa Bliss, Sonya Deville, Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, and Natalya. In each episode of Fight Like a Girl, Stephanie McMahon pairs a WWE superstar with a young woman struggling with a personal issue that's been holding her back. The WWE superstars draw from their own experiences to help their trainees overcome obstacles, become tougher, stronger, and healthy versions of their former selves, inside and out. Stephanie McMahon said the strong cast of superstars are leaders and role models who each have personal stories of challenge, perseverance, and triumph.
Makes sense why Natty's not on there.
She is on there.
Oh. I just have gas all the time. I don't know what to do with it. Well, let me tell you about it, honey. Just make a gimmick out of it.
It will be shot at the WWE Performance Center. Each episode will feature transformation and heart-pounding reveal as the women change their lives forever. It is produced by WWE Studios and Critical Content.
Jim, what the hell is Quibi?
No fucking clue.
Okay.
Absolutely no clue. Yeah, we spoke about this a little bit earlier. Brian Cage has finished with Impact Wrestling.
Quibi is an upcoming American short-form mobile video platform headquartered in L.A.
There we go.
It is scheduled to launch April 6th, 2020.
Okay, well there you go.
So there it is. So it's a
upcoming
video app.
video on video on
Look
demand.
at that. Get ahead of the curve.
How about it?
YouTube what?
Brian Cage no longer with Impact Wrestling. There was reports on Sunday that a deal between he and Impact Wrestling was completed. His wife, however, disputed the claim, saying, "Really? How can you confirm something that isn't true? I'm his wife and can confirm he hasn't signed anywhere on any dotted line." PWI's Mike Johnson added in his report that Cage has yet to sign anywhere, but he is mulling over offers from several promotions.
Nice.
Where would you like to see him end up?
Yeah, AEW.
Yeah. I think he would just become another body in the WWE, but he would look like a monster.
I agree.
In AEW, he will look huge.
My fear is that they would like Lars Sullivan him, and I don't mean like the porn. I mean like.
Come in my face.
Nope, that's not what I mean at all. He's just another big guy.
Right.
But he could be an absolute menace.
Come in my face. Oh, come in my face.
Stop it, Jim, with your goddamn sound effects over in AEW. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I'd like to
what
see
I
him
meant.
aimed at AEW.
ANW. Some
good root
beer.
beer.
Delicious.
MJF has finished up with MLW. His time with MLW has come to an end. He broke the news on social media saying, "Well, my time with MLW is over. I can assure you the dynasty will live on forever. I've had the best. I had the best tan, by the way. It's just the camera angle." The 23-year-old wrestler's last match with the promotion took place January 11th in Texas against Marshall and Ross Von Erich. The match will air in an upcoming episode of Fusion on beIN Sports. His deal with MLW expiring will not affect his status with AEW. He's currently signed there for the next few years.
How awesome that you could just say the Von Erichs.
Yeah, it's
a Von Erich tag team.
I would love to see them. I mean, I here's the thing. I either wish they would end up somewhere else, or if I got beIN Sports.
Right, beIN Sports is hard to find.
And I know, I guess they do air it on their YouTube page as well. It's just I have to.
You have to seek it out.
I have to get it.
Yeah.
It's been a few weeks since I watched NWA. Unfortunately. So obviously he's going full bore with All Elite Wrestling.
23 years old. Think back 2-3 years ago when they had him at Legacy Wrestling.
Yeah. We were probably one of the few people that because he was really on the up and up. That was
and how good was he then,
dude?
Man,
he was incredible.
Such a talent. Such a talent.
Was he Wrestle Pro or was he Monster?
He's not Monster Factory.
Wrestle Pro, maybe.
I'm not even sure on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
To be honest, I don't want to credit the wrong group. But
Rosie O'Donnell show.
There is so much talent there.
Yeah, 100%.
What a heel.
Ryan, one final thing, and we are going to close up a little bit early this week. I I've kind of been fighting.
It's too damn cold.
It's too damn cold. I've been fighting a cold. My voice is kind of half ready to give out on me, so we are going to close up a little bit early. But our friend Tim, of course, not with us. You can see his hat hanging on the microphone, Don Imus style.
Yeah.
An R.I.P. Imus.
He
passed away at like 87,000 years old or
something. He was one of those ones that I was like, oh, no shit, Imus was still alive.
I would have thought he was dead.
I hate to be that way.
Actually, sounds like he was a pretty big racist kind of piece of shit. But anyway,
I've also heard that.
On the Final Wrestling Place, the Tim and Marcus have been doing these not rivals, but something. But they're best and worst like opponents of somebody.
He is WrestlePro. I just looked it up. I apologize.
Okay. No, I wasn't
by Pat
sure.
Buck and Kurt Hawkins. So great eye for talent there. Great call, Jim.
But this week they covered Randy Savage, and they brought up a question: does Randy Savage's rehearsing of matches, like we've heard the stories of, his matches were like rehearsed almost, down to every last move. Like, does that hurt his legacy at all? Like, as opposed to like being able to call it in the ring. Like everybody talks about how like Flair was a great ring general, Triple H, Bret Hart, like there were so many great ring generals, but like Randy Savage, he was notorious for having like everything just planned out and rehearsed. Like, does that hurt him at all?
I absolutely don't think so.
Right.
Jim, I really don't. And the reason is, and I'm going to take like what some people might say is like the coward's way out, but there are bands who are artists that will meticulously record every single thing. And then there were some bands that would rather just kind of record live and we're going to get it right. And
I mean, even if you think of it as like a live show, like there's a lot of bands who will play the same set every night in every city. And those 15 songs are extremely well rehearsed down to a T. And then there's other bands that will have a set list going into a tour of
what do you want to hear?
45 different songs,
right?
And they'll just play different ones, and sometimes they'll screw up, and sometimes they'll have to start over, and whatever. Here's the way I think out of it, and we've often talked on this show about how you can't look at 1980 through 2020 eyes.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I'm not going to look back at Macho Man Randy Savage with the knowledge that I have now of I know this guy rehearsed things. I'm going to look at it as when I watch WrestleMania 8, that gem of a match between Randy Savage and Ric Flair was so fucking good.
Yeah.
And when I look at what Savage was able to do with the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7, and when I look at the Savage Steamboat match.
Does it matter if it was scripted?
Fuck no.
Right.
I mean, well, it's all scripted.
I mean,
rehearsed.
Okay, rehearsed.
No, absolutely not.
Here's the deal: we've been in backstage situations.
We see guys going over spots
all the time. I mean, I've seen single wrestlers going through spots by
Sure.
Like they're just again they're putting their bodies at risk. Like it's not natural to be dropping repeatedly on your back.
Not normal at all.
So I would probably want to make sure this is all kosher and legit as before I do it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, man, great call though. You see the match, I'm not like I bet they did that a couple times.
Right, like I've never watched, even now, I've never gone back and watched a Randy Savage match and thought, you know what, that was really rehearsed.
I'm going to now.
Yeah,
you put it on me. Thanks, Tim, you jerk.
But no, it's an interesting thing to talk about. I may bring it up with Tim when he's back with us next week.
I'd love to hear his opinion. I'm assuming they talked about it on Final Wrestling Place.
They certainly did. If you don't listen to them, make sure you do. Head over to Final Wrestling Place. But I'm gonna close it up. You ready to close it up?
Let's close it up. It's too cold.
It's too damn cold.
Let's get home before it gets any goddamn colder. Follow me. It's at RYN Eagle, or don't. I don't care. Follow the 3 Count pages. That's what I really care about. 3CountThursday.com. Twitter and Instagram at 3Count Thursday. Facebook.com/3Count Thursday. Patreon.com/3Count Thursday.
Yeah, you can follow me at Big Jim Sports. Head over to our Instagram, though. There is a great Woman of the Week content up there. Give us feedback, too. Like, subscribe to us, YouTube page, all of that. Let us know. Have a good night, guys. Devin, Jason, Scotty, Charlie, anybody else that was out there. We appreciate you. We appreciate you following us. And next week, obviously, we're getting ready for Royal Rumble
You guys
weekend.
just bought yourself a half an hour. Go do something fun with it.
But, yeah, make sure you're following us. Make sure you're following along to our home network, NGSC Sports, over at ngscsports.com. Leeb Sports, they broadcast us live each and every week, LEEIB Sports.com. Again, you can follow me at Big Jim Sports. Make sure you just follow along with everything 3 Count related. 3 Count Thursday across all social media, 3countthursday.com. Until next week, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin.